What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Colts Fan Cave. I am the big dog named Austin here. Just Panthers fan, Lars. Lars, you've been a Panthers fan for how long?
Man, I think I started getting into football probably like my freshman year is really when I started getting into it.
Freshman year of high school?
Yes, sir.
So, now, Panthers kind of an odd team to pick, especially in Indiana. You know, your mom's cool. I know your mom. She's a Colts fan, right?
Yeah, very big Colts fan.
Your brother's a Colts fan, right? You grew up around Colts fans. Why the Panthers?
So, actually, I think it was my freshman year when I started watching football. There was a story that came out about a little boy with cancer, and he wrote to all 32 NFL teams saying that, I really want to get into football, but I don't know what team to pick. And he's like, so if you guys can give me any reasons on why to support your team, then, please list them and why I should support your team, root for your team. And out of all 32 teams, the Panthers are the only ones to respond. And I think Luke Kuechly actually went out there. They signed a jersey for him.
Yeah.
And all that. So I thought that was a really cool story.
Yeah, that is awesome. I know Luke Kuechly, man, he's got to be one of your favorite players, right?
Yes, most definitely.
He's good on and off the field.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think a player like him makes? Why do you think he was such a great figure, not only on the field, but off the field?
I mean, Luke Kuechly's always been a positive impact for the Carolina Panthers organization, always going into Carolina. He did all kinds of charitable events. I mean, I can't really tell you one by one, but I know one specific event that he always attended every single year was the Thanksgiving event.
Yeah.
He always volunteered. He always did, like, the soup kitchen for, people that couldn't afford, didn't really have any families either, to eat with other people on Thanksgiving. So that's kind of like the time, of, like, sharing. So for him to be out there, sacrificing his holiday, to kind of help people in need, that's pretty cool. And, Thomas Davis, Super 2015, he also got the Walton Payton Man of the Year, too. So, like, those two linebackers right there, two of the best linebackers probably ever played the game. They're definitely up there, and also two of the most charitable linebackers as well, which is awesome. And for the longest time running, too, the Panthers were the most charitable organization in the NFL as well. So that's awesome.
And they've been around since 1995, right?
Yeah, 1995.
So,
came in with the Jaguars.
And they've been to the Super Bowl twice. Unlike the Jaguars, have never been.
Unlike the Jaguars.
It must feel nice. You've been, 2 Super Bowls. So the first one, you didn't watch the first one. How old were you when the first one happened? Because they played the Patriots, right? Yeah. And that was the early 2000s.
Yeah, and they lost. I know they lost by Adam Vinatieri.
Was it 2003 or 2004? 2003 had to be.
2003.
Because the next year was the Eagles.
Yeah.
So you were probably too young to remember that one, but that Super Bowl 50 though. I mean, even though the guys lost, it had to be pretty special though. What do you remember the most about that season?
Man, the biggest part I remember was this fucking Cam Newton just slinging it, man.
Yeah.
Cam
MVP
Newton,
that year.
Yeah, MVP. I think he had a total of 50 touchdowns altogether, including from passing and rushing. So dude, he just tore it up that season. But the most notable thing, which I think all Panthers fans will never be able to forget, was that fumble. Strip sack, and Cam Newton just froze.
Just one play though.
Just one play.
Everybody's gonna hold that against him, But an incredible season. Like you said, 50 touchdowns. And he won the MVP, 15-1, a historic season. And all because of one play. Nobody's going to remember it. They're only going to remember that one play. You just brought it up. I didn't even have to bring it up. You brought it up.
And what hurts even more, too, is that Von Miller actually just came out in an interview a couple months back and said that he still to this day does not know how they won that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Because he knows in every right mindset that the Carolina Panthers had the better roster. They were the better team.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, we just could not get it done. It was probably just the spotlight, We just weren't used to being in that spotlight.
I mean, maybe.
Cam Newton's first time being in the Super Bowl, and he was choked. And he hasn't been the same player ever since. He's struggling to stay on the roster now because of that.
And I don't want to say that that's because of the style he plays. And those, running quarterbacks seem to kind of get banged up a lot earlier. Andrew Luck and RG3, now Lamar Jackson. I'm hoping not to see the same thing with, guys like Josh Allen and AR. But that seems to be the way it's going. I kind of wish he would have gotten back to one of them, I really feel like he had some unfinished business to do in Carolina. And I felt when he came back, as an outside fan, that was kind of cool. When he came back, was that cool for you, or was it just kind of corny for you?
No, I was very excited for it. I knew that he wasn't going to be the same player that he was before.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a completely different organization. It was Matt Rule, Ron Rivera wasn't there. It was just a completely different team all around. So, I mean, I wasn't expecting big things, but just to see him come back, have that possibility to be able to find him for himself, hopefully, you're not banking on it, but hopefully, So for him to come back and then score that rushing touchdown, to be able to see him do the Superman again.
That was pretty cool.
That was a great
It was
feeling,
against Patriots, right?
Yeah, against the Patriots as well. So that was pretty awesome, man.
I know that you got a nice young quarterback. Now I want to make it clear whose jersey you got on.
Right now I do have a Graham Gano jersey on.
Okay.
Bryce Young's number is number 9, which me and you are going to go see that game.
Yeah.
9, so...
is that the first game that you're going to be going to as a Panther?
Yeah. First time I'm actually going to Carolina in general.
Have you ever seen the Panthers like in Indianapolis or anything?
I mean, I saw them in preseason game.
Oh yeah,
But that's the only time.
Okay.
We only play each other once every 4 years. And I know last time we played each other, it was Andrew Luck, obviously, overtime game, and that was in Carolina.
That was on a Monday night, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was on a Monday night.
Rainy Monday night.
Yep.
I don't know why I remember that, but I remember that.
That was a good game too.
Yeah, of course you guys won.
Yeah, we won. We won that game out.
So I remember we played in 2011. Panthers won. 2015, the Panthers won. 2019, the Colts won. So this is. I mean, I don't know. Panthers haven't really been like a team that the Colts have been like, played often, and when they get together, it's usually a decent game. I feel like the Cam Newton rookie year, that was a pretty good game, but the Colts are kind of in a bad position.
Yeah.
I feel like the best matchup that the Colts and Panthers ever had was 2015. You guys literally went to the Super Bowl that year, and we were fresh off of an AFC Championship game appearance. That was when we were both at our best. That was probably the best matchup we had. You guys got the best of us. Now, I want to go into, as far as your very first game that you remember watching. I know why you became a Panthers fan, but whenever you turn that TV on, which it might be kind of hard to get Panther games in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
So how'd you navigate through that?
To be honest, for the longest time, we did a thing called Cody.
Yeah.
So
I know what Cody is. Yeah.
So that's how I kind of watched Panthers games for the longest time. It was really hard.
Yeah.
I do know that Chris. Well, shout out to you, Chris, by the way, man, because your mom had Sunday ticket. So for a couple of years there, we were able to go over to his house and watch Sunday ticket until we ended up moving out on our own and get Sunday ticket for ourselves.
Yeah.
But now what I do, I'm a football fan in general.
Yeah.
So I just love the sport of football. I love watching it. Sunday night football, Sunday day football. Just being able to sit on the couch all day doing nothing but watch football.
That's the best, man.
It's the best day, man. You look forward to it every single week. So. For me now, personally, I go to Red Zone.
Yeah.
Red Zone, $15 a month. You get to watch all the games. You get to see everybody. You don't miss a touchdown or any kind of scoring play or any big play in general. So now I still stick to Red Zone. But, I do have NFL Plus. So, after the Falcons game, even though we lost, I still went through and watched that game.
Yeah.
Just kind of beat myself up over that game. But, now it's kind of how I watch the Panthers games to get my fix of it.
Yeah. So what moment, as a fan, do you think is your most memorable moment? So, a game, a memory, a game, a comeback, maybe just a moment you had while you're watching the game. Anything that sticks out to you?
Man, dude. So there's so many of them. I do think for me personally, there is a time, I think we were playing the 49ers, and it was a playoff game. We did end up losing that game.
Yeah.
But Luke Kuechly ended up getting a pick 6 in that game. And we ended up coming back. We were down 2 touchdowns. It was a tough game. Luke Kuechly ended up getting that pick, and it just fired me up, dude.
Yeah.
I remember, I think my mom got me on camera, too. I think I might be on Facebook. But me just getting up.
I'm going to have to look for that.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to put it in here. I'm going to see if the mom still has that.
Maybe.
That'd be good.
But, man, that was one of my most memorable games right there for me. We didn't go to the Super Bowl that year, but it was a great moment.
What year was that?
I believe that was 2012.
Was that the Niners Super Bowl run year?
Yeah.
When they lost to Baltimore?
Yeah, that was with Colin Kaepernick.
Okay. Man. What's up, everybody? Here with Lars. Had to check out his fan cave, his man cave. We got some Panthers memorabilia here. I want you to kind of go over some of this stuff and kind of tell me what some of the stuff is.
I mean, right here it's kind of like a birthday present from my girlfriend's mom. My mom gave me this. It's 2015 team collection. It's pretty cool. It's just all the players that made the Super Bowl that year. Stock cars my dad got for me. Of course, we got a Christian McCaffrey pop figure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then
right here, my prized possession right now, Bryce Young, the new dynasty. I'm really excited for Bryce Young, so be able to get his autograph now, and hopefully his stock will just rise up, and it'll be worth some more money over the years as he just progresses and gets better.
Get a closer shot of that, Bryce Young. We're gonna have to get you some more memorabilia when we go down there, man. Okay, one question I gotta ask you. So, as a Panthers fan, who's your least favorite team?
My least favorite team, I mean, right now it's definitely got to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah.
They definitely got the most recent Super Bowl. They also have a Super Bowl in the past, too, in the earlier years. So it's definitely a toss-up for me for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and New Orleans Saints.
Yeah. Saints and the Bucks have both won Super Bowls.
They've definitely been, like, the contenders in the division for the past,
Saints
like, 10
doesn't
years.
surprise me.
Yeah.
So any more disdain towards Tom Brady than you had when he was already on the Patriots? Because I'm sure you had to have some level of hatred towards him.
Obviously he beat us in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
so there's that. Obviously, he's been pushing on my Colts too in those earlier years as well. So just to see him constantly win, and then for him to come to our division and then beat up on our division as well, very disappointing. So.
Yeah. And another Colts tradition. Speaking of tradition, the Colts have a tradition, pretty recent, where they bang on an anvil. They have guys like Pat McAfee, Dallas Clark, I think's done it. Just different guys. I know that the Panthers have what they call it, keep pounding, right?
Yeah.
You've had Steph Curry do it. Different, celebrities. Who do you think? Who do you want to see against the Colts? Who do you hope is hitting that drum against the Colts?
I mean, for me, probably Luke Kuechly. To see Luke Kuechly go there and bang on that drum, that'd be pretty cool. So
that would be cool. I'm just not sure the Colts is the matchup for that. I feel like Luke Kuechly would come out there, against the Buccaneers or the Saints, like you said.
You know what? We could throw Frank Reich up there and have him bang on the drum too. That'd be pretty cool as well. So.
Yeah, Frank Reich, former Panther, back home. How do you feel about that coaching hire?
I mean, definitely a lot better than Matt Rule. To be able to see our first ever QB quarterback, he also threw our first touchdown pass for us as an organization. So to see him come and actually coach our team, I think that's pretty neat. It's kind of like a D'Amico Ryan situation with the Texans, since he's played linebacker for the Texans as well. So to have a former player kind of establish that bond, that familiarity with that team, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, Frank Reich, he was cool here. He didn't quite work out, and I think at the end of the day, it just was time to move on. And his vision wasn't quite our vision. I don't know. I don't think he'll be bad in Carolina. I think he'll be pretty solid.
I mean, he's got great teams. I got a great coaching staff. I mean, he's got Denver Broncos former defensive coordinator over there with him. Then he's also got Josh McCown coaching up Bryce Young right now. It's a great setup. I'm really happy for it. So I'm really excited to see what happens.
Cool. Well, thanks for joining us in Lars' Fan Cave. We're going to take it back to the original Colts Fan Cave. Thanks, guys. Who is the greatest, in your opinion, who is the greatest Panther of all time? How you doing, Boomer? Come here. Who is the greatest Panther of all time?
Of all time?
I mean, 1995, that's not a long history.
Yeah, it's definitely not a long time. But, I mean, for right now, I think it's got to be either Jake Delhomme, Cam Newton, or even, I'm going to have to go with Luke Kuechly, obviously, too, because I think he's one of the best.
I was thinking Luke Kuechly.
Yeah, but out of those three players, I think they kind of do... They set the foundation for the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
Those are the three players that you remember the most. It's Jake Delhomme, Cam Newton, and Luke Kuechly.
I think that Steve Smith. I really like Steve Smith. Yeah. He was a dog. He tore a lot of teams up, and he was out for blood every single time. I love the way he played, and he was part of that era where corners and safeties and linebackers can come over and light wide receivers up, and he was just tougher than shit, just taking those hits and catching those balls, man. I like watching him play.
Steve Smith, for me, though, he did kind of rub me the wrong way because I do remember one year we were playing the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, he was on the Ravens.
Yeah, he was playing for the Ravens, and he was doing a lot of trash talk, man. I was like, I get it, you're on your team, but I was like, come on, man, it's your former team. Show some respect, That kind of rubbed me a little bit the wrong way. I know that Luke Kuechly would have a much better attitude if he was in that position, so that's why I kind of stick to those players. I like to see that, that better attitude, keep that mindset going.
So, new era, Bryce Young era.
Bryce Young.
This is the second. This is the second first overall pick that you've had in franchise history.
Yeah, Cam Newton,
and then now Bryce Young. So, what do you think? What are your hopes for him?
I mean, I'm excited for him, man. You gotta be. He's a first round pick. You're expecting big things. I will say week 1 did not go the way I hoped for, especially
Yeah.
with him not throwing a pick in the preseason. So I was really pumped for him to see him throw 2 picks, especially him throw 2 picks in the same exact manner too.
Yeah.
The
He'll learn
safety
from those
coming
mistakes.
in. Yeah, I really hope so. But just to see that same mistake happen twice in one
Yeah.
game, that does hurt. And I think it's going to be even harder for Bryce Young to kind of develop because now we go and play the New Orleans Saints, which I feel are a much better team than the Atlanta Falcons. Derek Carr lit it up last week. J.C. Horn just got hurt. He's going to be out for a considerable amount of time now. I'm not sure, but he's going to be out for a while. So that leaves us with Dante Jackson, C.J. Henderson. So, our secondary is really going to feel that. With Michael Thomas, they have Deontay Harris, Jamal Williams. They have a really good offense. So it's just going to be interesting to see how Bryce Young can respond to that.
Yeah. So overall, in 5 years, what do you think you're going to see out of Bryce Young? How do you think he's going to elevate this team to a playoff team, or do you think he's going to be a dud? I want to see where your thought process is. How confident are you that he's going to be a good quarterback in 5 years?
I'm 100% confident that we're going to be a playoff team. Obviously, 1 week's not enough to do gauge. How it's going to go.
It's so early.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, it's still too early. I mean, he didn't light it up first week, so it's kind of hard to tell. But I do feel like he's much like a Russell Wilson type.
Yeah.
He does seem to avoid those hits. When he scrambles, he slides. I really like to see that. That shows he wants to have longevity in the game, and he's not going to keep running, just taking those hits. Especially how small he is. I mean, dude's only 5'10".
Yeah.
He's smaller than me.
Does that size concern you at all?
I mean, it's got to concern you.
Yeah.
I mean, he's small. You got these guys that are almost 300 pounds coming at you. This is their job.
You saw that clip of Geno Smith when Aaron Donald was coming around the corner, right? I mean, you're not going to be able to get rid of that ball every time. And he's going to take those kind of hits.
And even when you can get rid of that ball, once they're right there in front of you, you're taking that hit,
Yeah.
But what I have seen so far, because he is so small, he's able to get right underneath that defensive lineman.
Yeah.
So he can kind of dodge it a little bit. So, if you're a big guy, you're taking that hit and you're getting speared, head on right in the rib cage. With Bryce Young, he's typically going, on the shoulder or underneath to where he's diving while he's going underneath. So I'm hoping that, since he's so small, he can kind of evade those tackles, and not have to take those hits.
Well, man, I'm glad that you joined me, man. First interview. It's a series I've been wanting to do. We'll interview one per, maybe more, but interview different fans to see, what it's like to be a fan of that team. I'm a Colts fan. I got a different perspective. Versus a Raiders fan who might be fucking crazy, or, I got my cousin. He's a Chiefs fan. I'm sure I'm going to get him on here. But I'm going to get different fans, different teams, man. I appreciate you for joining me.
Hey, no problem. Anytime, you know that.
Well, go Colts.
Go Panthers.